Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome into my kitchen. This is Digitally Fit and Fabulous. We're back at it. I've been busy with work, so that's why I haven't been really doing a whole lot. But I'm going to start off the day by making some beet gummies. So we need a cup of the beet juice going into our pan here, and we're going to need lemon juice. And if I remember correctly, it always tells you to use bottled lemon juice on this. So I'm going to put this back in the fridge. And see if I can spot where my lemon juice went. Lemon juice, where are you? Must be inside the fridge somewhere. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it wants you to always use lemon juice, and I had some. I guess it's all gone, so I'm going to try it with fresh lemon juice and see what we can do with that. Hold on, let me grab a lemon. We got one lemon here. Go ahead and get the squeezer, get my knife out, and get that cut, and we'll put, I think it's a tablespoon of lemon juice in here. So I'm gonna go, first of all, give the lemon a good little roll because it's kind of tight. Sorry for the little extra noise. We got the air fry going. Getting a little bit of breakfast for the hubby. So we're gonna go ahead and go on with this table, half the lemon. Okay. All right, so we got that in. So the next thing we're going to need is a half a cup of the beef gelatin. Not a half a cup, what am I saying? That would be a mess if we used a half a cup. So we're going in with 3 tablespoons of the beef gelatin. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and it says on the recipe I use that if you want to go in with a bit of honey, you can use a tablespoon of honey. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and get this gelatin mixed up in it. And we're just going to heat it for just a tad bit, not very long, to dissolve that. And I think, so with the honey, I think I'm not going to do a whole lot because beets are generally sweet. I will do like a half, well, not a half, a teaspoon of it instead of the tablespoon. We'll just do the teaspoon. Get in here because I have some creamy honey, and as we can see, it's creamy. I'll wash my hands. And we're gonna go ahead and get this mixed up. And again, we're just gonna heat it a bit. And then once we get this heated, then we're gonna simply spread it out. You can use, this is a point where you can use molds. Now, the last time I did the recipe, I used molds and they were okay. I wasn't really happy with them because of the simple fact is they they were so small that all the gummies wanted to stick together, and I didn't like that. So that's why I don't want to do the molds this time. I just simply parchment paper lined a sheet of a small pan, and then we'll pour this over the pan. And then we can cut it, you know, into our squares. When we get it done and it's congealed and everything, we'll cut it into squares and be done with it. And then will be set. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to mix this and get it heated up, and then we'll come back when we're ready to pour it up. Okay, all right guys, so we've got that where we want it, and it's just simply, you don't want to boil it, you just want to heat it up. So now that we've got it heated up, we're just going to go ahead and pour it into our pan. It's all nicely in the pan. Could have been a smaller pan, but that's fine. I could have actually doubled the recipe, but it'll go in the refrigerator and it'll sit to cool. And then once it's cool, we can go ahead and cut it up into our square slices, and then we'll be good to go. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Let me get this in the refrigerator, and then we'll move on with our next project. All right, guys, so we're back. We're gonna do pop stickers for the freezer. So I got about a pound of ground turkey. You can use pork, chicken, whatever you choose to use. I'm gonna put in several different little things. Like, we're going to go in with a little bit of purple onion. So I'm gonna get that, a couple of slices off here and dice it so that we can go in with a bit of purple onion. And you wanna just use my cutting board so it'll not be making all this ridiculous amount of noise, and just dice through your onions. And you know how I like to put things in the freezer. This gives me one more thing to have, that when you're looking for something to cook, you have already options in your freezer. We still have one more frozen pizza in the freezer. So we're gonna go ahead and go in with the diced onion. That in there. Then we're going to get a few of these mushrooms and go ahead and mince them up and get those in there also. So we just, again, you just want to mince it up. So I don't want huge pieces. I want, you know, small pieces in here. So again, we're going to run our knife through, because these mushrooms are already sliced. Back and go this way, because it's just, like I said, a pound of the ground turkey. I started to do more, but I said, let's see how this all goes. And then this being my first time doing them for just freezer prep only, we're going to flash freeze them like we do anything else, and get them in bags. And I may vacuum seal the bags, and more than likely I will. That I may, because you can always put them in freezer bags. But again, like I said, I was just thinking I may just vacuum seal them, so we're getting the shredded, not the shredded, my goodness, getting the mushrooms over in there. Now we're gonna open up this bag of cabbage. It's always, you know, good to have a little store-bought help. I didn't have any cabbage on hand. Usually I do. So I got this little angel hair coleslaw mix, which we know is nothing more than cabbage. And I'm just going to run my knife through this so that it's not just like big shreds, that it'll be, you know, pretty much bite-sized going in there. Get that in there. Then I'm going to go in with green onion. I'm going to cut some from my green onions going on my counter, so I can just easily, you know, have them in here, as well as outside in the garden. So cut the tips off, run your knife through the green onions. Again, like I said, giving us options for having quick food ready to go in the freezer. You know, I do meatballs, marinated meat, and especially now, I'll probably be doing another full day of marinating meats for the freezer, because now that it's, you know, rolling into those summer months, you know, I like to have a lot of grilling options, and I don't want to have to come home and then, you know, figure out when I can get up in the morning and already know what the plan is for grilling, you know, and that's the thing I like about that. You have options. Okay, so now that we've got our cabbage mix in here, we have green onions, we have purple onions, a little bit of mushroom. We're going to go in with a little bit of white wine vinegar. So if you need a measurement, teaspoon. Then we're going to go in with regular soy sauce to season it up. And go in with a bit of dark soy sauce. And all of these are going to be like tablespoon measurements. We're going to go in with a bit of oyster sauce. Get this open. And just go in with about a teaspoon of the oyster sauce. We want to do ginger, and then we're going to do egg. And then we'll get it all mixed up. So I always keep or store my ginger in the freezer so that I can use it for different recipes, and it keeps longer, especially if you got a good bit of ginger. You can keep it in the freezer and get it stored longer. I was looking for my microplane. All right, so we're just gonna go in with about a tablespoon and a half of the ginger. Broke a little piece off. Continue to grate it in. And do as much as you want or as little as you want. Ginger is good for you. So getting that in. And also, I almost forgot, and I don't know how I could forget, good old garlic powder. All right. And then I need my 1 egg. I have my egg out and over here. Got that in. And then I'll go in with a tablespoon of cornstarch to help with the binding of it all. So we're going with a tablespoon of cornstarch. All right, let me get a mixing spoon. All right, and I'm just gonna get this mixed up really well, because again, this is gonna be going in the freezer. And so on most of these recipes, you know, you can use pork, like I said, chicken. Pork is a traditional meat used in pot stickers, but again, I wanted to use ground turkey. So mixing, getting it mixed up, and you really want it to, you know, it's going to be a wet mixture like that. And I think, let's see here. This cleaned up off my board. Really quick, I'll need purple onion later, because I'm gonna probably whip up salmon patties to be for today's meal. Because the closer it gets to summer and the warmer it gets, nobody wants to be in the kitchen doing all this cooking and heating up too much. So try to think of quick, easy meals to do. So we'll get this wiped up. Board. Always looking to see. Yeah, I think that mixture is good. Get this out the way. Sip of my iced coffee I made. Espresso machine. I made an iced coffee, and I put a vanilla protein shake in it, because why? We need protein. Okay, let me put this in the refrigerator. Go ahead and pull out our wrappers, and we'll get our pan set. So we have everything ready. We're doing this parchment paper. We simply like to ball it up so it'll kind of stay in place. Put that right there. I'm going to get some water in my measuring cup. And of course, you know, if you have ever worked with these wrappers, you have to work pretty much quickly. I hadn't really got sure as to what method I shall do with the wrapping of the wrappers. I've looked at several different ways you can wrap these. So you'll see, like I said, I haven't really made up my mind quite yet. So let me get these pulled out. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna dip our fingers in, go ahead and let's go around the wrapper. Then we're gonna go ahead and take our spoon, and if you know, it's up to you what you wanna use. Take your spoon, go in the middle. Oh, yeah, see, I already done started off wrong. I thought I had 2 wrappers here. Shame on me. Now, I think what I'm going to have to do is with this wrapper, I'm going to have to start it all over again, take some of the filling out, because I should have had in my mind how I wanted to seal up the wrapper. Can't be getting up here with no plan. I'm just pleating it, so to speak. I don't even know if I want to continue on with the pleat method. Now this is pretty raggedy, that one there. I'm going to put it down and let me just get it together, because this is not what's up, as my son would say. And as I can see, I lost my control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, regroup real quick, see how I want to wrap it, and then we'll be right back. Okay, guys, so kind of got my life together, and we're going to go with it's almost like a triangle shape, and I will show you right now. I did a couple of shapes off, obviously, video. And of course, you know, one of the things is the rationing, the ratio of meat to the sticker itself. So that's part of what we're doing. So, you know, we want to kind of pull it up. Then you're going to pull in the sides, pinch those, gently holding the other side. Do the same. Pinch that, because again, remember, you're watering that. So we got that shaped dumpling, and we're just going to go through and make however many that this makes, because again, this is going to go in and flash freeze in the freezer, and then we'll get it into bags to be ready to go when we want pot stickers. We can just pull them from the freezer and do them. So we'll just continue to, again, do the little pleat and tuck in on the sides. And then just remember to seal. And there you go. And we're just going to continue to work on the dumplings until we get them all complete. So I'll continue to work and we'll come right back. Okay, guys, so I finally got all the dumplings wrapped. This is the second pan, and as you can see, the more I did it, the better it got. So I got one pan already in the freezer. I finished this pan, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this one in there to flash freeze. So we got that one in there to flash freeze. We'll go ahead and get this stuff cleaned up, and we'll be back to move on to the next recipe. Okay, guys, so we're back. So the next project we want to do is some salmon cake. So here I have 2 big cans of salmon and 1 little small can of salmon. And in it, I've already put the 2 eggs beaten. And I'm going to go in with some seasoning, which will be, of course, garlic powder. We're going to go in with some onion powder. salt and pepper. And I did about a half teaspoon of salt in that. And put in some Kraft black pepper. And then we're going to go ahead and get in our onion. We have onion. We have purple onion. You can do white onion. Bell pepper. And we have a half of a jalapeno pepper from the garden. And we did just a baby pepper. We did leave the rib of the seeds in it. So get all of that in there. So again, we got the 2 eggs already beaten. We've got purple onion. We got bell pepper, which I always use sweet red or a yellow bell pepper. Don't like green, doesn't digest for me. Jalapeno peppers. And then we're going to put in like a 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs. And now we're going to go ahead and mix this all together. And I always like to get it mixed and see how well it's binding together. See if I need to add anything else to it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And if I do, what I usually add in is a little bit of mayonnaise. So I think, looking at this mixture, I'm going to add in the rest of the homemade mayonnaise that I made last week. We'll just go ahead and get that in here. And hopefully that'll help with the last of the binding. Okay. Let's get that spatula cleaned off, because you know over here we don't leave anything behind, because the way things are going these days, you need everything and then some. Can't afford to be leaving things behind. So I'm getting that all mixed together. And then what I usually like to do, once the salmon cakes are good mixed, then I usually will go ahead and just put the mixture out, try it and see if it's binding well, if there's anything else needed. And then what I'll do is let the mix rest, and you can put it in the fridge and let it rest. And again, like I said, I always like to test it and see if it's binding, if it's sticking together. And then I go ahead doing that, put that mixture in, let it rest, then bring it back out. Let me wash my hands while I'm talking to you guys. Then I bring it back out and I pan fry it. Sometimes I stick them over in the air fryer. And when I put them in the air fryer, I spray them with a little bit of pan coating and put them in the air fryer and let them fry. Today I'll probably be pan frying them, simply because when we were out on yesterday, we got some nice green tomatoes. So my husband wanted fried green tomatoes, and luckily we only pan fry these. I don't really care for how they turn out air fried, so I just pan fry these. But we'll go ahead and we'll be doing some of those. So we'll go ahead and pan fry the salmon cakes today and stuff, because he knows it's not often he gets to have fried treats around here. Usually that's his little sneaky thing he does when I'm gone, is fried some pork chop or something like that, because he knows it's not happening here with me. So we're gonna go ahead and let our mix rest, put it in the fridge, and we'll be back when we're ready to put them in the skillet. All right, guys, so we're back. We're getting our oil heated up, and we're gonna go ahead and get our salmon cakes going. So I have my salmon here, and all I want to do is make it into nice patties and sort salmon cake, and you got it mixed into your patties. You want to just go ahead and put it in your oil. Of course, the oil needs to be hot. That one was sizzling, and I wanted to go ahead and pull it off so that it didn't, scorch or burn while I was getting my other things together. So go ahead and add these in. And like I said, you just make a nice round ball. You can use, if you want to make sure they're exactly uniform, you can use ice cream scooper. I pretty much can get it to where I want it in my pan, and then I kind of give them a little push. And I can probably get one more in the frying pan. And we just let them cook for 3-4 minutes on each side before flipping. I'm gonna turn on my exhaust fan to keep it going so it doesn't get really, you know, stuffy in here to exhaust and pull out the fumes. So we're gonna go ahead and let these cook for 3 or 4 minutes on each side. Then we'll be flipping them, letting them cook for about 3-4 minutes, because really, actually, to tell the truth, it's canned salmon, so it's actually done. We're just browning up the sides. And when I pull mine out, obviously, I like to drain them on paper towel. Sometimes I'll go take the trouble and pull out a wire rack, which I probably will do, and let them drain. So they're cooking away. And that's what we want, to just fry up nice and crisp on each side. Now, some people will do theirs in flour mixture, pat it out. Some do it in breadcrumbs. I don't put an extra breading on it. I just want the clean, wholesome salmon. I don't want to bog it down with a lot of breading on it, because again, more breading, more calories, and we're not trying to do that over here. We're trying to keep fit and stay fit, lose some weight, but still be able to eat good things. So, spatula, and I'm going to look at the first one we put in and see how it's browning. Oh yeah, it's going up very nice. We got those frying up pretty nice. So we're going to continue to fry them up, and we'll be back after we get them all done. See you back in a few. Okay guys, so we're back. We did get the salmon cakes all finished. Of course, I had to go break one at the end, but there they are. I broke one, but still eats the same. Now we're going to go along with the fried green tomatoes. So tomatoes are sliced. They're simply seasoned with salt and pepper. So we're gonna go and dip them in an egg wash with salt, pepper, and a little bit of hot sauce. From the egg wash, we're gonna go into our flour mixture. And from flour mixture, we'll go into cornmeal mixture. And we'll just keep that process. We want to keep it kind of rocking and rolling like that, because I got the grease on heating up. And what I didn't do, and I may just hit them with some salt when they come out, is just go ahead and sprinkle with a little bit more of salt when they come out of the fryer. And again, you know, I'm not big on frying, but I don't see how you can just not do fried green tomatoes, because I don't like the way they come out if you try to do them in the air fryer. Not that good. So we'll just continue to dip in our egg mixture. We got our egg mixture. Sorry, I didn't even think about the fact that I have my dipping station down, and this is, my camera isn't set to look that low, but we're going in from flour to egg to cornmeal. And then of course, as we get it out, you want to just dip it in. So we're going to go in, we're going to turn the ones that we got going. Nicely. And we'll just continue to do that same process. Sorry, can't talk, until we get them done. So we'll be back. Okay guys, so we're back and we're finished. We've got our beet ginger gummies out. We cut them into squares. We put them in a bag to go in the fridge. Just didn't feel like being bothered with having to go back and get a jar for them. Then here we have the salmon cakes. And then here we have fried green tomatoes for later on. And we do have a salad that's in the fridge for on the side to have. But just the things that I've done today, and also the pot stickers. Obviously, let me grab that out so you can see in case you weren't here when we did it. We're part of freezing our pot stickers to store in our freezer to have for a simple meal later on in the month or year. Sorry about my plastic bag flying out the freezer. That's for Bellows dog food. We recycle. We don't just use the plastic bag one time and throw it away. We recycle. But anyway, this is what I've gotten done today in my kitchen. Very proud of what every Saturday that I can get accomplished, that I'm able to, you know, first of all, wake up to see another day, and then be able to get in the kitchen and do anything to get me further ahead for the week. I have some salmon thawing that'll be for tomorrow, and a skirt steak that I may or may not season tonight. But these are the main things that I wanted to get done today. Yesterday, I was able to, once I kind of recovered and could stand on these feet from work, I ended up making hot dog buns and hamburger buns and some protein bagels to set ourselves up for the week. So this is the rest of the stuff that I wanted to accomplish. Again, I'm grateful for you coming into my kitchen and seeing what I'm doing. When I get a chance to pop in, I'm going to try to get more consistent with that. But again, thank you for coming in. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next time. This is Digitally Fit and Fabulous. Remember, you know, it doesn't take much to change your lifestyle and how you eat. It's not about what you have to spend, because again, food is expensive. It doesn't matter now. It's expensive. But you can eat right, you can eat healthy, and you can certainly grow your own food just like I have been doing. I posted that I had harvested some green beans before I had to leave to go out of town, and we harvested okra. Here we have, I can't even hold them all. Several tomatoes from the garden. So the garden is really producing good, and I'm thankful for it. Grateful that my husband gets out and he does what he needs to do for it, and I come out and do a little something, but most of the time he's keeping it up while I'm gone. So I'm grateful to that, and thankful that, you know, we're able to provide some of our food. So, you know, where things are headed, you want to be on top of preserving and putting things up. Oh, and I didn't even mention that I had chicken stock going in the other room. So, you know, I want to extract as much of the collagen out. So it's been going for like 2 days. I'll stop it tomorrow and get it put up and canned, and then we'll have more bone broth on the shelf. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, Digitally Fit and Fabulous. Stay safe, stay prayed up, and stay ready.